Hey guys. Okay. First, I want to start off with saying that I want to thank everyone who participated last night. I should have done this every single time that we've done this in the past because it's a pretty big deal, these events that we're doing. And I just want to speak prophetically a little bit. These the events that we're doing, the Facebook Live events, we'll probably do them once a month and until I'm sick of looking at them because they're very fruitful. I can't imagine not doing them now that we've done them and had some great success. So if you have yet to join us on one of them, I encourage you to hop on next time. I really encourage you, and if you're like a person that highlights and underlines things, if you take notes and stuff, I really encourage you to write down what I'm about to tell you. You need to print out the file that's about momentum. I think it's called Need Momentum, or it may just be called Momentum. That is on our team page, and it's on our other pages that I have going as well. And it's just explains exactly how to prospect via social media to get guests need momentum. Thank you. To get guests to agree to be added to these events. I know this sounds like the biggest duh thing in the world. You're going to be like, well, duh. But, if you don't have people on there, nobody's going to join, right? If you don't have people on there to participate and listen, then all the stuff that I teach you about following up and all the stuff I teach you about how to close a deal is kind of like, well, yeah, but there was nobody there to begin with. So that is the first step. And also I want to point out to you, too, that anybody who is prospected in this way, once they join your team, they're just going to automatically assume that, well, that's what I do next. They're going to just add people to the next event that we're doing. And I feel like we're going to look at the way that we've done this in the past, which was, I don't know, holding our breath just right and crossing our fingers and blinking 3 times. Which is how we previously prospected people. I think we're going to look at that and go, gosh, this is way smarter use of everyone's time, smarter use of everyone's resources. I really want to praise those who, leading up till now, the 3 events that we've done, our speakers have been very fantastic. I mean, just so on point with their stories. Learning how to tell your story and make it meaningful and impactful in a 5-minute time span requires some thought and practice by these people. And the appreciation level with me is really high. I appreciate the ones that have done it so far. I'm sure that we will have more of you joining and being willing to participate in sharing your story in the future. But I wanted to acknowledge them not only for their participation, but also the fact that they're also giving away gifts each time we have a speaker, they're giving away sometimes a really substantial gift. And we just really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you who have donated gifts, because if I haven't used your gift yet for the one that we just did, then that means over the next couple of days, because I kind of like this idea of dripping on these people, because I want you to raise your hand. I can only see literally, I think, 2 faces that are live with me tonight, because everybody else has their screen blanked. 3 faces. Okay, so, but show me by raise of hand, or you know how you can hit raise hand here. How many times have you ever gone on any online store and put a bunch of crap in your cart, and then you left your cart for whatever reason, and like, weeks later, sometimes you think, oh my God, yeah, Old Navy. What? They send you a new email and you go, oh yeah, oh my God, I had like 15 things in that cart. Okay. Well, as long as Old Navy is smart enough to drip on you, which means the next day they send you a little message that says 15% off of all the crap you put in your cart yesterday, or sometimes they'll just, anyway, whatever it is that causes their name to hit your circuit again, you go, oh my gosh, oh yeah, I got to go do that. It's because we live in this, like, we have stimulus all around us. There's always something going on. There's always dopamine flowing freely because we got this ding, ding, constantly. Somebody and some people, or some people and some things are always vying for our attention, if not our money. They're always vying for our attention. And so many times these people that tell you, hey, yeah, I'm interested, I want to join next week. And then they don't join and you think, gosh, they read the bad review. Had to be something terrible, right? It couldn't have been that they're like you and they put a bunch of crap in the cart and just forgot, right? So I'm just telling you right now, I think 90% of the people that aren't on your team yet really did intend to join your team. And if they've told you, I want to join in January, by golly, you better be dripping on them in January. So for the rest of this week and maybe further into next week, I'll be dripping in that group. And something I've learned how to do also is when I create a new group, and I'm going to have to get creative and start calling them something else because it's hard to figure out which one we have going on at any given time. We've done 3 now, and they're all called Facebook Live something or another. So I'll have to figure out either I need to close down the old events or something. But the reason I like keeping those old events open is because it gives me the ability to drip on them. Also, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying by dripping, just like the old Navy emails. Okay. Also, it gives me the ability to go back. Once I create the January one, I can go into the January one and click invite. Okay. Because I've made the event. And then I can say, it'll say invite Facebook friends. And I click yes. And then over to the side, it will give me groups and events that I am in. And it will let me open the contact list from that group. So for example, my December Facebook Live group, all of your prospects that were in there that you invited, and they probably need dripped on, I can automatically send everyone that was at the December one an invitation to come to the January one. Now they have everything. What I'm trying to say, they have the ability to, of course, just decline going. So it's not like we're spamming people, but it does allow me that option, which I really like. Also, it allows me to invite everyone from old belly buster challenges, that kind of thing. So definitely going to be utilizing that. If you're wanting to do this with your own team and you need to know how to do that, I've pretty much explained it right there, but let me know if you didn't understand that. Tonight, we had a really hopping party last night. So tonight I wanted to touch on something that I did post this in the Butterfly team page last night before the party because I wanted you guys to have this on hand, but I'm going to walk you through this really quick. Those of you who are on other pages of mine, give me a holler after this is over and I'll share this little thing called How to Close the Deal. I love this. This is short, simple phrases that I actually used, and I used one of these phrases in the last video I did last night. You'll hear it in just a second, and it was very fruitful. So it says, you're talking to someone about Plexus, but you don't know how to seal the deal. Do you have trouble closing? Top closing phrases. So from all the information I've sent you, what did you like the best? Okay, I'll send these to make sure everyone has these so you don't have to write them down. Number 2, number 2 is an option. Tell them your story in under 60 seconds. Touch on weight loss, wellness, and wealth. Then say, do you have any questions? Answer that question and nothing more. Let me ask you, do you see an opportunity here? Are you ready to get started? So, okay. I just have to tell everyone right now, this is the stuff I messed up so bad for so long. Like, for example, where it says, answer that question and nothing more. Those of you who know me are like, yeah, I'm sure you told them everything you knew. I promise you, I told everything I knew. So, okay, I'm going to say that again. Tell them your story in under 60 seconds. Touch on weight loss, wellness, and wealth. They're saying that 3 W's so that you can remember them. Then simply ask, do you have any questions? Answer only that question, nothing more. And then you say, let me ask you, do you see an opportunity here? Are you ready to get started? When they say yes, great, let's go to my website. If they say no, what info do you need to make a decision? Okay, now this is the one I used last night in the video that I did. I gave my story. Mine was more like a 5-minute story, and told them basically, I tried to do kind of I want you to watch, if you watched the video I did last night, the last one, I want you to watch the attempt at giving an overall view of how I felt before without describing a disease. It was just how I felt, the way I felt according to my age, according to my lifestyle, and how I just basically accepted that that's the way I guess that's just the way you feel after you've had kids. Because I'm trying to relate to anybody, okay? If the minute I say, well, basically what happened was I had rheumatoid arthritis and then, or basically what happened was is I had, whatever, migraine headaches and then, whatever it was, that the minute you say that specific thing, people may or may not be able to relate to your story. But I just basically told them what I have now discovered is the majority of people who are the age to have kids, men or women, if you're the age and you have kids and you're like, I am freaking tired all the time, and either I'm hormonal or my wife is, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's always gripey in this household or those types of things. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like trying to give them an overall perspective of, yes, too much month at the end of the money, and we're going all the time, going, and we're tired, okay? And then at the end, after everyone else had shared their stories, I'm thinking, surely everybody already has an idea of whether they're interested or not. So I said, in order to win this prize, just tell me in the comments below, what info do you need in order to make this $35 decision? Tell me, what information do you still need to make this decision? Because at least then you're not that sappy Plexus friend that still goes around crossing your fingers and getting in your closet and wishing and blinking 3 times every night, hoping that person will join your team. If you just ask them to make a decision, you can just move on past that person. Either they're on your team or they're not. How many of you have a person on your team that you know you want on your team and you've even given information to, but you just are too afraid to ask, right? For whatever reason, you're like, I just haven't asked. Well, I'm not going to ask, because eventually they'll just fly in on a flying carpet and eventually just, blink at me and say, I'm ready. Finally, I'm ready. But you've never closed the deal because you've never just asked, what else do you need to know in order to make this decision? Y'all, it's a $35 decision. If it were a $500 commitment, we should be running scared a little. This is $35 commitment. Okay. And so, for example, it says here, objections, money, time, etc. What you would say if they object is, so what are you doing to change that? For example, if they don't have any money, if they don't have any time. For example, you're basically telling them their objections are actually their reasons. Does that make sense? The objections that they have are the reasons to do it. In almost every case. I'm going to repeat this like 4 times. In almost every case, the reason people tell you they don't want to do it or don't know if they can do it or don't know if they can do it yet are the actual reasons that they should be doing it right now. For example, I don't know, I don't think I have the money to do it. I don't know if I can afford that. That's not a reason not to do it. That's exactly the reason that you're waiting for. You say, what Plexus did for me, I was in the same position as you. What it did for me is it put me in the position to where I didn't have to constantly be strapped for $35. I always used to say, I've never been the boss of a $20 bill. And that was true. Like literally up until I was working on my own, doing my own thing. I was never the boss of a $20 bill. And I did not like being in that position. That's why I decided to take control of my future. And Plexus has helped me do that because the products are on point, the compensation plan pays well. And I love the people that are on our Plexus team. They're amazing people. I'd love to have you on our Plexus team. So now, do you feel better about getting started? This is all in the notes. Do you feel better about getting started? Yes. Great. Let's go to my website. If they say no, well, then would it be okay to send you a sample or a video, whichever feels appropriate? And then 8 on this list is, let's schedule a time to chat again. So these are all closing remarks that once you've sent someone appropriate information, once they've been to a Facebook Live or a launch party, once they've joined you at an opportunity meeting, once they've had coffee with you, whatever, and you need to close the deal, these are great closing remarks. Actually, it's the simplest and smartest ones I've ever seen, as far as just they're straight to the point. They keep you in the position of where you're not constantly chasing your own tail around, because that's the opposite of what you need to be doing. You know, if you went to business school, I'm just thinking about this. If you went to business school, or even if you just go to a few sales seminars, you'll learn this type of information like this. And people who sell furniture are so good at this, they like don't even bat an eye. They're all like, or cars. Here we go. So what's it going to take to get you in this thing? That's the same thing as, how much more info do you need? What kind of info do you need? We're used to being talked to that way by other people. So I don't know why it is for us that we pump the brakes and don't want to pressure people, when the truth is, the minute they walk off the lot or the minute they walk away from your presence, their phone is going to be pressuring them 24/7. Did you know your phone pressures you 24/7? It pressures you to look at it. Ding, bing, ding. Oh yeah, okay, the phone's the boss of me for the next 20 minutes because I got a ding. And now I'm on Old Navy, and Old Navy's telling me what to do. Add to cart, add to cart. We get bossed around all the time, and we don't think anything about it when we're the ones getting bossed around, but we won't proactively, you know what I'm talking about. We won't proactively ask people for the sale. We won't proactively ask people for the decision. And I'm saying we won't, but I believe we will. Like, I think this is our turnaround time. I think we need to do this. Next thing, Ann McNeil, she was one of our speakers last night, and she posted on the Butterfly page. I think she posted it last night, and I didn't see it and approve it until tonight. It is a video about rejection. It's about a guy who decided, after he realized that the fear of rejection was ruling his life, he decided to spend 100 days in a row going out looking for rejection. So the very first day, he went out and asked a stranger to borrow $100. And he said the guy told him no. Some guy he worked with but didn't really know. He said, "Hey, man, can I borrow $100?" And the guy's like, "No." But then as he's walking off, the guy goes, "Why?" He said, "I realized in that very first experience that the dude actually gave me a chance to explain myself, but I had already run off." Like, he's like, "I think maybe had I turned around and not been so scared, I probably could have talked the dude out of $100." Because he did ask me. One of the other examples he gives, and I'm not going to tell this whole thing because you need to go watch this video, but one of the other examples, he got creative as time went on. He walked into a donut shop and he asked them, he's like, can you make me some donuts in the shape of the Olympic rings? Like, connected together, 5 of them. And he shows a picture to the lady, and the lady's like, he said he thought he would immediately be told, "No, like we sell donuts by the dozen, get out of here." And he said, the lady looks at the picture and she scratches her head and she's like, "Okay, this one's like red. And then this one, can I take that picture with me back there?" She comes back out with a box of donuts, 5 donuts to be exactly in the shape of the Olympic rings with the right color icing. And he said, "I realized then all I had to do was ask, like, just ask her." Right. And then he walked up to a guy's door and rang the doorbell and asked, he had a plant in his hand, like a rose bush is what it ended up looking like, but had one of those root ball things on the bottom of it in a sack or whatever. He says, can I plant this in your backyard? Just a guy just random answering the door, and the guy goes, no. And he said he realized that earlier, apparently in his project, he realized that by asking someone why when they told you no, sometimes would change the outcome. So when the guy said no, he said, why? And the guy said, because I got a dog back there, and he literally will dig up everything that gets planted back there. It would totally be a waste of your plant. But the lady across the street, she loves plants. Maybe you should ask her. Okay, so this most ridiculous request, or, I mean, it's just like a seemingly random, odd request. He tells him to go across the street. Well, he goes across the street to the lady. He says, could I plant this in your backyard? And the lady is thrilled. She's a plant lover, thrilled to see him, goes back there and plants it, helps him plant it, and is excited about it. And he said he realized he got a referral because the guy didn't even know him, and was like, oh, the lady across the street, she would love that. She would love for you to plant that. Gave him a referral. So anyway, this video is worth watching. It's like 20 minutes long, 15 minutes long, I think. Yeah, 15 minutes long. And it really gives some good insight in why he became fearful of rejection in the first place and what he realized over time. And this brought me to a point that I didn't know I was going to share tonight, but I have this I didn't realize it was unique until recently, but I have this unique perspective because of the household that I was born in, okay, I'm the oldest. I had an older sister that wasn't really raised with me. She lived with us 3 years while she was in high school. But of the ones that were in my household that belonged to my mother, I'm the oldest. So, my personality has always made my mother nervous because I'm not fearless. It's not that, but I've always kind of felt like, well, why not about everything? I question everything. When my mom would tell me, not to ask a teacher to do something, or not to ask for to get a specific anything on a project or anything that I wanted done, she would always caution me not to ask for favoritism or ask for favor or whatever. And I would always just go behind her back and do it anyway, because in my mind, I always felt like, why not? They're just people. If they tell me no, it's okay, but it's just a person. And so I've always had this kind of, that it's a quality. I don't know. It's gotten me in trouble sometimes. So it's not necessarily a great trait to have, but mostly I would say in my life, it has more often than got me in trouble. It has actually gotten me places. Like when I was 19, I had never done anything in sales, advertising, or with a radio station at all. But I just decided I wanted to work for the radio station. So I just walked in and said, hey, I want to work here. And they were like, well, what are your, qualifications or whatever? I'm like, I don't know. What do you got to do to work here? And that's kind of how I attack everything. Jetty will be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to apply for this photography contest. He's like, well, what do you have to do? I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get there, because he's laughing, because I figure that I don't care what title someone has, because I figure they go home in the evening and they pull their shoes off. They sit in their lounge chair and talk to their wife, just like what happens here at our house. They're just ordinary people, and they are usually taken back by someone who doesn't approach them like a scaredy cat. So I feel like, for me, personality trait-wise, more important even than confidence, because this is not really confidence. This is just me kind of like brazenly living in life. I just feel like, from my perspective, if somebody wanted something from me, wanted me to do something, try something, rather than a sales pitch that sounded all plotted out and rehearsed, I would rather them just show up and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Tell me what I need to tell you, which part of it I need to tell you about so that you'll be interested in it because I want to talk to you about it. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so I go in for the interview at the radio station. They're like completely dumbfounded that somebody just walked in off the street, but that's what I wanted to do, and I didn't see why I couldn't try. And next thing you know, they had me writing ads. They told me that they wanted me to do sales. Well, they sent me out to learn how to do sales with their leading sales lady. And I followed her around day to day for about a week. And I realized that I didn't like the way she did it because it just didn't fit me at all. So what I would do is I would look at the list of potential businesses that they wanted to prospect, and I would write ads for that business. Go in the production room. I learned how to do back then it was all just like press record and all this, old style stuff. But I learned how to make ads, use music, put music behind it. And I was a voice that you didn't hear on the radio. So it would go from 95.7 KRCM into it's Christmas time at Shirley's Gifts in Ardmore, Oklahoma. A girl's voice doing a commercial that sounded like a professional commercial, but it didn't sound like the radio announcer. And all of the other ads that they were pushing on potential prospects was the radio announcer who just announced the song right before that. So it's like the voices all kind of flooded together. So I was thinking it would be cool if there was a girl voice that didn't sound like the radio announcer. So I started prospecting the businesses in that way. I can remember the first one account that signed a deal with me. I was so excited. She had agreed to some sort of Christmas special that we had going on. I had this real twinkly music playing in the background. I had made this cute little audio for it, and she was like, I love it. I love the ad. I've never done radio before. And that struck me as funny because she had been a business in town for my whole life, 20-something years, more than as long as I had lived at that time because I was only 19. And I thought, that's weird. She's never advertised on the radio. And for whatever reason, she said she would advertise on the radio when I took that ad into her. So I walked in and I laid my thing on the front desk so that they would get it into the ad circulation. And the lady she said, the secretary or whatever, she goes, Shirley, whatever her last name is, she said, she's going to advertise with us? I said, yeah. And they were like, we've tried to prospect her forever. And I was thinking all they do is go in there and they show her statistics of radio, why radio is great, try to prove to her that radio is better than newspaper, which is what she's always used, and never had tried to show her how cute her business would sound to people over the airwaves, right? So anyway, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I believe that I have a lot of creatives on my team and that there are other ways to go about things other than just the way that, obviously not, if you're going about it in a creative way, it may not be the most duplicatable way. However, I really encourage you to step outside the box. Think of creative ways to, before you go to bed tonight, think to yourself, someone that you'd like to talk to. It wouldn't even have to be about Plexus if you'd like to start some other area. Maybe there's somebody that you'd like to get in on a program that they facilitate and you just like to volunteer with them, or you'd like to be part of what they do or whatever. And just think to yourself before you go to bed tonight, they're just a human being. They're an ordinary person. I don't know why I let them scare the bejesus out of me. One of my good friends used to be married to this really intimidating woman. And he used to say, she just walks in the room and takes control of the room immediately. Like everyone pays attention to her. And that's the way I saw her too. A few years ago, they were going through a divorce, and he started confiding some things. He was hiding assets. He's like, here, take my assets, hide these from her. This woman's nuts. So we began to learn a lot about her. And one of the things that he said about her that's really stuck out to me was, he said, I can't believe that she's as va-va-voom as she is, like commanding in a room. He said, but she's intimidated by the lady that works at the Rainbow Mart. And I'm like, what? Like, That's not at all what I saw out of her. And he's like, yeah, he's like, she comes home and she's scared to death. Like everything she says is just fear, 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 fear. And I was thinking to myself, for some reason, I let that story plant a seed inside my mind of, if that girl who I had always seen be so in control and so like with it, she had one of the prettiest websites I had ever seen before anybody had decent websites, had beautiful photography done of her doing her professional thing that she did, had this beautiful, like what kind of looks like a cover photo now, had all of this stuff done that just really represented what I thought was probably her marketing, her brand, and her image. And when he told me she's scared of the lady at the Rainbow Mart, I thought, I will remember that forever, because she seems like one of the most intimidating people that I've ever met in my life. Seemed that way. She seemed like you'd be scared to death of her. When he told me that she's actually easily intimidated, I thought, man, wouldn't that be a fun job interview? I mean, to go in, you know what I'm saying? To go in and realize that the lady who's intimidated you all this time is actually easily intimidated. So I don't like going around intimidating people, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying what a twist of events, right? What a turn of events. So I always remember that particular story, that person, not the story, that person always stands out in my mind anytime that it's like, okay, I'm trying to raise money for an organization and I'm going to go in somewhere, like tomorrow we're going to go volunteer at a thing. And if I'm wanting to get someone to donate some stuff to this school that we're going to go do something with tomorrow, before I would walk in and ask these people to do something for me or for my effort that I'm wanting to do, I always remember that particular person. Doesn't matter how scary they are. It doesn't matter how whatever they are, because you never know what that person really feels like on the inside, and how you might be given favor just because the fact is, if you walk around believing that you are favored, you are favored. Do you know that? I walked around from about the time I was about 16 until I was about 22. Life knocked me down a few times around that time. But around that time of my life, I walked around just expecting the good things to happen. And I'm starting to get that back now. Here I am 42, but I'm starting to get that back, not because I think I deserve it and not because I think I'm special, but because I just think that if you feel that way and you believe that way, then it's true about you. Yeah, I could talk about that. That is something I could talk about all night, so I won't get started. Okay, next on my list is the Christmas party Sunday night. The qualifications for the Christmas party is that you have to be qualified as a silver. So even if you're a gold and you're not qualified as a silver right now for whatever reason, if you're not qualified for the month, or if you used to be a silver and you're not quite yet gold and you're not qualified right now as a silver, you need to be qualified for the party. You need to be qualified as in your auto qualification has to be turned on. You have to have actually have to have your volume in. If your auto qualification isn't till later in the month and that's what you depend on in order to qualify for the month, you need to go ahead and place an order early so that you don't miss out on this party, because some of the jewels are already doing little promos showing you the cool things that they're going to give away on Sunday night. And it's going to be a cool party. I think I'm going to give away, I probably should wait till I know for sure before I go blabbermouthing. I have a cool prize in mind that I think I'm going to give away. I love Christmas time and I love to give away presents early. Okay, I think I'm going to give away an Amazon Echo Dot, like an Alexa. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what Alexa is? I only got like 4 people live with me right now, but okay. I want to give away an Alexa, the little thing that you say, Alexa, play my playlist, Alexa, whatever. Okay. That's what I'm thinking about so far. Anyway, I probably should have done a real cute like demo for you guys about how Alexa works. Maybe I'll do that before the party. Hey, simmer down over there. My husband's making fun of me because I just got Alexa myself and I haven't plugged her in yet. So in order to do a demo, I probably need to plug her in. He's over there telling me you have to figure it out first. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to. Somebody said I just set their Alexa off. Alexa, play my playlist. That's awesome. Did I really? I want to know if that's true. I'm really fascinated by these things. Okay, hang on. Hang on. What is a command that she goes to? Because I want to see if I can make her do something. I'm infatuated with these things. Jetty's like, what are you over on Black Friday or one of the Black Friday weekend sales? I'm over there researching. And finally he goes, what are you studying? And I said, I'm trying to study it. Oh, hang on. Your hair, what? Okay, here we go. Alexa, what's the weather? I wonder if it's going to set her off. I've got everybody muted, so. Anyway, she'll tell you all kinds of interesting things. People are like, that's just like a Siri. And I'm like, yeah, except for if I want to play my playlist and play on my phone, I can't do both at the same time. Or I'm going to run my battery down real fast. So I can make Alexa do all the stuff I want her to do and play on my phone at the same time. Can you imagine how spoiled our children are going to be if we are this spoiled? Anyway, okay. The Blitzen for Cash thing is still going on. Hope you guys know what that's about. If you don't, it was an email that was sent to you that the company promo that's going on. And January, we're going to do another Belly Buster. And right now, Christmas, the one we did in November was really, really hopping. The one we're doing here in the month of December is less hopping, but that's because we prospected really hard in October for the rank up and score. Alexa's answering me. It's 33 degrees with cloudy skies. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm definitely giving away an Alexa. I'm definitely going to. Yeah, now I am. I bought an extra Alexa just in case I needed her. So we prospected really hard in October because of the rank up and score, and we really pushed for the Belly Buster Challenge in November. And therefore, in November, imagine this, it was really hopping. Then November came, and we didn't prospect as hard, and so the one that's going on right now, I mean, it's a great one. We have people that are getting great results, but there were like 5 times as many people in the other one or something like that. It was a ridiculous crowd of people. So here's what I'm feeling in my feelers for January, the New Year's resolution time of year. You need to prepare yourself because this is just like, remember how I told you leading up to, or while we were in October, I said, you don't want to get to November and be like, crap, I wish I would have woke up during October. The same thing is true for January. That's not when you want to hit snooze. January and this business, we are in the business for January. So we need to start promoting so that people will get in our January Belly Buster. I will try to get the page up and running tomorrow. The people that were in the party that we did last night, we need to drip on them. I will drip on them in there. Those of you who have had great results with the Slim Block and 96 combo, please add your testimonies in that group. So that when I in the Facebook Live from last night, when I asked for them, so that people can see it's worth their time to get involved that way. I feel like I'm going to have questions about that. January Belly Buster. And so, okay, this is what I wrote. I need a favor. In January, if you put prospects in there, I need heightened participation in the group. What happens, I feel, is that we get scattered because we have a Facebook Live coming up, a Christmas party coming up, and all these pages that we are, participating in. And sometimes, like even myself, I'm ridiculously guilty of being like, skating through 3 or 4 days and realizing, oh my God, I don't think I've posted in that Belly Buster page. What's wrong with me? And so I don't think that the burden of it should fall on any one person, myself included, of course. So I feel like if I'm, asking politely for participation from you guys, it would really help for those of you who have access to content from online launch parties that you know is very fruitful. You know, like when you're asking people to share their testimonies and talking about the triplex, those types of things. It would be super great if you would say, hey, yeah, you know, I'd be willing to chip in. I have participants in here, so I'd be willing to chip in and make sure that we keep good content on that page so that it doesn't turn into a dud of a page. Does that make sense? There's not a worse feeling when it comes to like leadership than to realize that, like, last year at Leaders Retreat, Washington, D.C., at Leaders Retreat, I had started some sort of, I don't remember, something with prospects in it leading up to that. And I got there, went through the whole Leaders Retreat. It was something I was supposed to be posting in once or twice a day, every single day. And I realized at the end of Leaders Retreat that I had skipped like 4 or 5 days. And I went back over to the page, like we were sitting there eating dinner. It was our last night of Leaders Retreat. And I got that like gulp feeling in my throat, and I'm like, oh my God. It was a 7-day slim challenge. That's what it was. So it wasn't like 21 days and I had skipped 3 or 4. It was like the whole middle of the week was gone and I had like blitzed out. And it dawned on me, and I went over to the page, and I realized people didn't even tell me, hey, I got you covered while you're gone, or hey girl, hey, I see that you are obviously too busy for us, so I'll take care of this. People just did it. They just started posting in there because they saw that I was otherwise detained. And anyway, so that was a beautiful thing to me. In fact, I sat there at dinner and cried. I was like, this is so great to have a team that'll, you know, just chip in and not even brag on themselves. It's amazing. So love that about you guys. And I know that since I'm asking, we'll get great participation in the January one. I'll make the page tomorrow. You can start adding participants. Highly suggest you using the wording that we talked about earlier tonight to get people in that group. Do we have any questions before I pray for us about anything I've talked about? I have a question. What's a hair timer? I'm sure it's something I know I need or might already have and call it something different. Do you know what it is? I'm asking Jetty like he would know what it is, a hair timer. I'm talking to you, Katie Reader. Oh, her hairstylist has one. Hang on a second. Oh, her hair. I missed the comment before that. Her hairstylist. I got you. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. So that she doesn't like burn your hair with dye or peroxide, right? That's awesome. All right. The video from Ann was posted to, I think it was posted to the butterfly page. Am I wrong? But I'll share it with you. It's good. I can't even think of the guy's name who, I just watched it tonight. So, all right, guys, let's go to our place inside our hearts, clear out our head space, and just be still in his presence tonight. Holy Spirit, we just welcome you here tonight. I just feel like it's like, I know you're here, but I just want to say it. You're just welcome to be here. God, I believe that we are created in your image. And I believe that we have so many keys inside of us to unlock doors if we just realize it. Created in your image with the power to do more than Jesus. That's what his word says. In fact, I think that's exactly what Jesus said, that we would do more. And I believe that once that veil is lifted off of us, like whatever that is that makes us believe less than that, the cloudy brain fog. Once that's lifted, that's when the possibilities are limitless. That's when the girl down the street is the healer down the street. The girl that you work with is the miracle worker that you work with. The guy from Carpool is the guy who gets a word from the Lord, who has prophetic knowledge, who can speak into people's lives and pierce through to their heart. Lord, we desire these things. Lord, I desire that the brain fog be lifted even more, that the desires of my heart are more and more clear, Lord, that's what I want. I desire after your heart, God. I desire your calling on my life, Lord. I desire power. And did you know it's okay to desire power? It's when we try to do things in our own power. It's when we goof up. I desire divine power. I desire to be walking in divine power. I visualize and see myself laying hands on people. And as I walk away, they are healed. Actually, as I stand there, right then, right there, divinely healed. I desire to see more and more of your people's hearts on fire, chasing after you, God. Chasing after your purpose, the purpose that you have laid out for them before even they were born. Fire and passion. I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing in my mind. I'm seeing like a crowd of people with their hands out, like out beside them, kind of up by their shoulders, and their hands out beside them, and their hands are on fire, like they're glowing. It's dark outside, but these people, it's a whole crowd of people, and it looks like they're glowing from the inside out, and their hands are literally on fire. So cool. I suppose I take that, what that is, and lay it on people. Healing power. Yeah, I got chills all over me. Healing for their health, body, mind, and soul. Their minds. Do you know how many people, I mean, I know how many people walk around torn apart inside their minds, feeling disconnected, feeling unloved. And that fire, that's what I'm seeing again, that same fire, laying hands on them so that they don't feel disconnected, they feel whole. I'm just declaring that right now in the name of Jesus. I don't know what it is, but I know I was supposed to talk about it. Worship. Worship is the warfare. Worship is the answer. Worship is the key. When you feel negative, whatever it is, fill in the blank with something negative. When you feel forgotten, when you feel unloved, when you feel sick, when you feel out of sorts with your marriage, worship. How silly are we all day long, every single day? I mean, I see this so much because I'm in group chats all across the, Facebook universe. And how silly is it that that's the last place we go? The ridiculousness of that makes me nauseated. That the first place we go is complain or whine or try to manipulate a situation or try to fix a situation or say, dang it, there it goes again. It's happening again. Why do all the bad things happen to me? Everything bad, 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 always bad, always bad, always happen. By the way, I used to be, just like I just described, I used to be like that, and I'm not anymore. Now, and it's all God, completely God. But now, worship. Sometimes I have to put my phone down and walk away from all that junk. And I have to say, God, you are holy. You are the Lord of the universe. You are the Lord of everything. And you are the Lord of my heart. And before I allowed my heart to be caught up in distraction and nauseating nonsense, Lord, I worship you and who you are. And I know that my heart will be still. I don't have to get caught up in the nonsense that this world provides me, because I can promise you the world will provide you a daily dose of nonsense. You have the choice not to get caught up in it. I choose not to get caught up. I choose to have huge faith. The realization, I posted this on Facebook the other day, the realization that, I think I said yesterday's boogeyman is old news today, and now there's a brand new boogeyman, and once I realize it's just a boogeyman, it's a distraction. Once I realize that daily dose that I'm getting is a distraction or a test to see if I'm going to worship. I mean, literally, if I could hand out pins that you could pin on your shirt, or something that actually like you could wear around your neck so that you would never take it off, you would always have it on, that just said, remember, worship, stop. Don't let the daily nonsense rule you or tell you who you are. Have you forgotten who you are? Why do you let the world tell you who you are? Child of the one true King, daughter of the Most High, worthy, loved. He died for us. So why would we walk around otherwise? Why would we think that the boogeyman is going to get us? Why would we think that this particular thing is going to be the thing that takes us down? Identity crisis. Worship. Peace, be still. Lord, thank you. Thank you for calm. Thank you for peaceful sleep tonight. Thank you for always revealing your heart to me when I go looking for you. And Lord, forgive me for the times that I put that last. Lord, I want to know the secrets of your heart. I want to know the desires that you have for me inside your heart. Teach me about the desires that you have for me, Lord. Teach me how to live life in power and more like you. In Jesus' name. Wow. Woo. Amen. If there was anything I promised tonight, just remind me so I don't have to go back and watch this video. Sometimes I get carried away. My breakthrough people, Misty, if you kept tabs on what I was supposed to share with you guys. I know I was supposed to share with you the video and the closing remarks, right? Okay. Whew. All right. Good night, guys. You're dismissed. I'm going to hang around here for a few minutes because I feel like I'm supposed to. A couple minutes. If anybody has questions, something on their heart, I feel like maybe somebody does have some sort of identity crisis going on that I'm supposed to hang around here for. Wow. That's awesome. Oh, yes. Is that a graphic you found? Oh. Woo! When you said that, when I just read that. Oh. Woo. I want to tell you something that the Lord revealed to me. Yes. Yes. I'm going to let you say something first.
Okay, I might cry a little bit. You were talking earlier about being intimidated by people. You were that for me a long time ago. And I remember when I approached you at the first event where I just said I have to give you a hug. You were like shocked or surprised or whatever. And I was just like, she has just influenced me so much that I just have to give her a hug. And then I remember asking you by messenger to do that thing at the first annual conference, our annual thing. And you were like, well, I'll try, but I don't know if I can do that. I mean, it was just the fact that I asked and you said you would try. And just as we've gotten to know each other over time, I just feel like I don't know if your people know how approachable you really are. And I hope that they do know that. Because I'm not even on your team. You've been that for me. So I want them to know that.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No. I would hope that people would know that I'm approachable. The Plexus thing happened to me. And put me in a light different than how I see myself. For sure, different than how I see myself. The way I described to you guys earlier about the radio station thing, I have always seen myself kind of like that. I've always kind of been like, well, why not try? And now I see that that's a gift because I see that so many people, like I might even go, I might even encourage someone to go apply for a job that they didn't have a degree for. Like, I'd be like, why not? Why not try? If you think you're cut out for it, then why wouldn't you try? But that's just a part of my personality. But that makes me that makes me a good encourager, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I always tell my kids that kind of thing. I tell my kids that kind of thing. But so when I was describing myself earlier, even as I was saying it, I started thinking, I hope they don't think I'm really bragging, because really people have unique qualities, you know, and I don't really see that as bragging, but I just was hoping nobody was perceiving it that way. But for me, the first convention that I went to was actually my second convention. Like I had started selling Plexus in January of 12. And I thought the convention would be stupid, so I didn't go. I just couldn't imagine. I didn't have anybody to ask about it. And I was like, I'm not going to that. And I had a wedding planned that, for my photography business. I had a wedding to actually shoot the pictures for during the convention. And so, by the time I went to the second one, I was already in Emerald, and I had made YouTube videos, something had caused fungus fame. Like I had impacted people, not really realizing I had impacted people outside my team until we went to that convention. And when people, like Jetty went, you know, totally thinking, man, this is going to be a fun little vacation for us. And he immediately went into culture shock. I did too, but I didn't have the luxury of going back to the room and like having like fits of panic like he did. I was like, what is this? You know, because I don't see myself at all in the light that especially certain Plexus people see me in. I just, heart on fire for what I had seen happen to my brother. That's it. That's what got me to, okay, my team is what got me rank-wise to every place I've ever been. I understand that. But the passion and the drive and the, like, unwillingness to stop, you know, I'm not willing to stop for anything. That all comes from being a little bit of a conspiracy theorist and having a passionate drive to want to see people get well. And after you've done it a few times, that can become pretty addicting. After you've helped, you know, counsel people and all that. But boy, I've loved the relationship that I've built with you as well. It's been beautiful. I can vividly remember the first time I heard your testimony, remember thinking, wow, you know, the whole donating an organ thing, I was like, wow. Anyway, I won't keep blabbering on. I don't know how to take compliments very well, except for just to keep talking. But nobody should ever be intimidated by me. I'm so not scary. I can't, especially after anybody's ever heard me talk, I can't believe anybody is intimidated by me, because I can hear my accent on like tape. I think back and I think, good Lord. The fact that my friend about I'm going to stop the